Okay, this lesson is on ratios and rates, introduction to unit rates as well. Remember, ratios are a comparison of two quantities. A rate is also a comparison of two quantities. They have different units that need to be identified. So in this example, 30 miles per hour, the units are miles and hours. What they've given us is 30 miles for every 1 hour. How could you set up using a proportion to find the number of miles in 3 hours? So our original is 30 miles in 1 hour. Remember, proportional ratios means equivalent ratios. If miles is on top, miles stays on top. If hours is on bottom, hours stays on bottom. What information are we given in this question? 3 hours. Well, if we know our hours, we can go ahead and put that down. So now we have set up a proportion to find out the number of miles in 3 hours. You could say going from 1 to 3, you multiply 3. Just like in equivalent fractions, what you do to the bottom, you do to the top. This is one way to solve this. We are going to use a method called XMED to solve these later on. Unit rates are rates where the second quantity is 1. I always say break it down. Just break it down to 1. For instance, the 30 to 1, the unit rate was 30 miles to 1 hour. 90 to 3 is not a unit rate. It is simply a rate. Unit rates are rates where the second quantity is 1. So this would be our unit rate, 30 miles to 1 hour, aka 30 miles per hour. Another way to write this, 30 miles per hour. So there's several ways you can see this written. Here's an example, finding unit rates. Geoff can type 30 words in half a minute. How many words can he type in 1 minute? 1 minute. Write the rate. We have words and we have minutes. Always start with this. We do 30 words in half a minute. You could also write 5/10, 0.5 if you like. How many words can he type in 1 minute? So we need 1 minute. And we're looking for the words. So let's multiply to find the words per minute. If you start out with 30 words in half a minute, how could you get that half a minute to 1 minute? You would multiply by 2. And we end up with 60 words per minute. I do want you to write this out in sentence form because there's tons of different ways that you can see it, so there's tons of different ways I want you to write it. So now you try this example. Penelope can type 90 words in 2 minutes. How many words can she type in 1 minute? Press pause and try this. Okay, so first you write the rate. You have words and you have minutes. Penelope typed 90 words in 2 minutes. We need to get to 1 minute. So the instructions here say to divide. Since we're going from 2 to 1, we're getting smaller. And the way you find equivalent ratios is to multiply or divide. So we have 90 words, 2 minutes, and now we got to get to 1 minute, so we need to divide the numerator and the denominator. To get 2 to 1, we divide by 2. 90 divided by 2 is 45. So Penelope could do 45 words per minute, or 45 words in 1 minute. And that is our unit rate, since our second rate is 1. Our denominator is 1. Okay, so we're going to find unit prices to compare costs. So another reason that you would need to know unit rate is to decide what's the better buy, maybe. Pins can be purchased in a 5-pack for $1.95 or a 15-pack for $6.20. Which is the better buy? In order to know what the better buy is, we need to know how much one costs. If we know how much one costs, then we can tell which one is the better buy. It's the cheaper one. So, if we're trying to break the pack down to 1, the packs need to be our denominator. And the money needs to be our numerator. So first we have $1.95 for 5 packs. We need to break it down to 1. Then we have $6.20 for a 15-pack. We need to break that down to 1. Then we are going to know which one's the better buy. Notice how I didn't combine $1.95 for a 5-pack, $6.20 for a 15-pack. We don't know that those are proportional, so we're not going to set those into a proportion. What we're trying to do is figure out how much 1 is, so we need to set both of them up to 1. So, in order to do that, how do you get from 5 to 1? You divide by 5. So if you divide $1.95 by 5, bring your decimal straight up. Up, 9. And so this one is 39 cents per pack. Now we need to figure out how much this is. So I'm going to divide by 15. Oop. So $6.20 divided by our 15 pack. Bring your decimal straight up. That way you don't lose track of what you're doing here. And we need to figure out how many times is 15 going to 62. You might have to come off to the side and list your 15s. And that's fine if you need to do that. 15 goes into 62 4 times. 15 times 4 is 60. Bring down this. 15 into 20 is 1. I don't even have to go any further because I can already tell that the $1.95 for a 5-pack is the better buy. So we are going to want to buy this one. So I want you to try this example. Jamie can buy a 15-ounce jar of peanut butter for $2.19 or a 20-ounce jar for $2.78. Which is the better buy? So set this up to where you can find the unit rate for the jars of peanut butter and then decide what's the better buy. Go ahead and pause the video. Okay, so when we set this up, we are trying to figure out how much per ounce each of these are. That way we can determine what the better buy is easily. So our first jar of peanut butter has 15 ounces in it. It's $2.19. Our second jar of peanut butter has 20 ounces in it for $2.78. So, whenever we go to do this, we got to break it down to 1. So I'm going to come off to the side and divide $2.19 by 15. Bring your decimal straight up. 15 goes into 21 one time. 21 minus 15 is 6. Bring down your 9. 15 into 69 is 4. And I'm going to go ahead and stop there since it's money. Now, if these end up being really, really, really close, then I would need to go out to the next place value. So let's go ahead and divide this one, see where we're at. 20 bring your decimal straight up. 20 goes into 27 one time. 20 goes into 78 3 times. That was pretty close, but we can tell that the 20-ounce jar of peanut butter is our better buy because it's only 13 cents per ounce, which is cheaper than 14 cents per ounce. Try this one. Golf balls can be purchased in a 3-pack for $4.95 or a 12-pack for $18.95. Which is the better buy? Go ahead and try this one on your own. Okay, so whenever we go to set this up, we are going to want to break it down to 1. Both of these need to be broken down to 1. So we have a 3-pack for $4.95. I wonder how much it would cost for 1. Here we have a 12-pack for $18.95. Wonder how much that would cost for 1. We come off to the side. We need to divide by 3 since that breaks it down to 1 for us. 3 goes into 4 one time. Bring your decimal straight up. 3 goes into 19 6 times. And 3 goes into 15 5 times. So this one is $1.65 for 1 pack of golf balls. $18.95 for 12-pack. So I'm running out of room on the left, so I'm going to come off to this side over here and divide by 12. Decimal comes straight up. 12 goes into 18 one time, and we get 12. 8 minus 2 is 6. 12 goes into 69, and remember, if you have to come off to the side and do your multiplication, that's fine. 5 times, which is 60. 12 goes into 95 7 times, which is 84. And actually, I'm going to go ahead and leave it because I can already tell that this one is going to be the better buy. In the end, I'm getting the golf balls for $1.57 a piece rather than $1.65 a piece. So this, of course, is the better buy. Try this one. This is the last one for guided practice. John can buy a 24-ounce bottle of ketchup for $2.19 or a 36-ounce bottle for $3.79. Which is the better buy? So let's set this up. We've got $2.19 for a 24-ounce. We're going to break it down to 1. Or $3.79 for a 36-ounce. I'm going to break it down to 1. So let's divide out this first one. If we divide by 24, we'll get 1. If we divide by 36 here, we'll get 1. What you do to the bottom, you do to the top. So let's set this up. $2.19 divided by 24. 24 does not go into 21, and it does matter to put that 0 there since it's behind the decimal. You can subtract. 21 goes into 19. You may need to come off to the side and do a little bit of math, but it goes in 9 times. 24 goes into 19. I apologize. And 24 times 9 gives you 2.16. So this is about 9 cents an ounce. $3.79 divided by 36 ounces. Bring that decimal straight up. 36 goes into 37 one time. 36 goes into 19 no times. So we can tell that this first one is the better buy by a penny per ounce. And that concludes your guided practice for unit rates.